This is a story about how Pythagoras discovered, or invented, if you will, the musical scale, which is the foundation of all of our music today. He lived around 500 BC in ancient Greece. And imagine the environment, what it was like at the nights for those people. For one, there was no lighting. There was no air pollution. There was no light pollution. So one thing is they were living underneath this canopy of stars every night. The kind of stars that you can only see sometimes in the desert here. The stars that are so close, they feel like they touch you. And that's how they felt. They were moved by these planets and the stars and the motions of things. And they thought they were connected to the human spirit. What else did they have at night? They also had music. Now the music they had was singing, of course, and these instruments, stringed instruments called lyres. And what was a lyre? A lyre was like about this big or so, and it was a stringed instrument like a miniature harp. So it had no frets, no way to actually play it, other than to pluck these strings or strum them. But they were able to tune these things so that they were very harmonious. And the Greeks were very moved by this music. So they're moved by the stars, and they're moved by the music. And they think these things have to be connected to the human spirit, because the human spirit reacted so much in a harmonious way with both of them. So Pythagoras, with a mathematical mind, wanted to understand what was behind this. He wanted to study and see if there was some kind of mathematical relationships between these things. Well, the planets and the human spirit were difficult, so he went after music. He wanted to find out what made some sounds harmonious and others not. It was a big mystery. So he built himself a thing called a monochord, and it was it was about this big or so or something, and it was a single string, as the name implies, a single string, and you could pluck it, and you could hold it down and pluck it at different lengths. So he was looking to see, for these really harmonious spots, where do they occur? What is the ratio of the big string to the shorter string when you do that? And well, we have something like a monochord right here on all of our stringed instruments, and this is kind of basically what he had, a string like this. So he went and he started playing around with, oh, boom, there's one, different kinds of things he looked at, and he found this one though. And he thought that was pretty neat. And it turns out that that happened to be exactly at the halfway point of the string. If you look at this string from here to here, this is the midpoint, and it's what we call an octave today, but it had a ratio of 2 to 1. So a simple integer ratio, 2 to 1, made a nice harmony. He looked for another one, and the next one he found was actually down here. And that is, well, a third. So this is a third of the string, and this is twice that. So here you have a 3 to 2 ratio. So this is 2/3. Also a beautiful harmonious sound. He found another one right here. Well, you're right. That's a quarter of the string. That's a quarter of the string. So that's the 4 to 3 ratio right here. And he thought that these were really key. And he was amazed that these simple integer ratios explained some of the most harmonious sounds. Well, how important are these discoveries that Pythagoras made? Well, look at this instrument. I told you this was at the 12th fret, and that's the halfway point. It's got a big dot there. This one here, this 2/3 ratio, also has a big dot, and so does this one, has a dot. So clearly the people who built this instrument thought that those ratios were important, and they put those dots there. And what are those dots good for? Well, I'll show you. Blues and rock and roll, lots of jazz. It's all based on these exact same 3/4 and 2/3 ratio. Here's your basic 12-bar blues. Open string. Open string. 3/4. Open. 2/3. 3/4. Open. So, it was crucial. Everything is playing to exactly what Pythagoras figured out.